Hi, one of our sports picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Tuesday, May 31st. We are talking right now with Ian Cameron, taking a look at the opening lines for the baseball card for Wednesday, June 1st. Ian Cameron, I have three games I want to ask you about. One huge underdog, one huge favorite, and then one game that's dead even money. And we'll start with that one. It's Texas at Cleveland, right? Hamels starting against Bauer. And as anyone who follows baseball day in and day out knows, Texas is now by far the top team in baseball in terms of ROI standings on the year overall, year to date. They're close to 25% ROI, and no one is even close to that as of right now. Philly, of course, used to be the top team. They've come crashing back down to earth, and now we've got Cole Hamels starting, coming off a bad start. You know, he's probably, I think, unless there's something wrong with him, which I have not read anything to that effect recently, probably going to bounce back with a nice start here. Bauer on the mound for Cleveland. We know he has a lot of potential, a lot of talent, but also is generally very hittable and vulnerable. And we've got a very competitive line. It opened at minus 104. I'm thinking the Texas at minus 104 might be a good bet. What do you think?
I'm with you. 100%. I mean, I'm done looking for Trevor Bauer to turn a corner. Done. I mean, I'm just, he has just frustrated the living hell out of me for the last several years. A guy that's got all the ability has not in any sort of long-term stretch been able to harness that ability and turn it into production and wins, most importantly. And the same thing goes for Trevor Bauer so far this season. 2-4 is Cleveland in his 6 starts, 4.34 ERA. I mean, his home numbers, just like they were last year and the year before, not very good. 5.01 ERA in 3 starts here at Progressive Field in Cleveland. He's allowed 13 runs on 24 hits and 23 innings pitched at home. I mean, just a guy that, and the home run ball has plagued him. He's allowed 2 home runs in his last 3 starts. It's just a guy that's been very, very hittable. And unfortunately, he's not getting swings and misses at a good enough rate, at a consistent enough rate. You would think he'd be able to induce worse contact or worse at-bats from opposing hitters with the kind of stuff he has, but it just hasn't been happening at any sort of consistent level for him. And the same has gone on for this season as well. Cleveland's 0-3 in his last 3 starts. And on the flip side, you got Cole Hamels on the mound for the Texas Rangers. I'm willing to give him a pass, Pete, for that last start against Pittsburgh, where he allowed 6 runs on 8 hits and just 4.2 innings of work. It does concern me that home runs have really been a problem for him of late, but those home run issues might be neutralized here against a Cleveland lineup that, as I've said for a long time now, going back years, they've had trouble against the left-handed side. Left-handed pitchers have given them problems. Look no further than yesterday. You know, Derek Holland able to shut this Cleveland lineup down in a 9-2 Texas victory in blowout fashion. I think Cole Hamels can get right here and get back on track, and his road numbers, Peter, have been great this year. 1.63 ERA, 5 earned runs allowed on 27 innings of work on the road, 9 walks to 30 strikeouts. Texas is 3-1 when Cole Hamels has taken the mound on the road this season. I think they got a good chance to make it 4-1 here. I'll definitely have Texas in my pocket here on the Wednesday card.
All right, that's what I'm thinking. Good to hear. Now I want to ask about a huge underdog, Philly at home against Washington. Now, Philly, of course, surprised everyone with their hot start to the year. For a while, they were the top team in baseball in terms of profitability. They've been losing recently, come crashing way back down to earth. But I think that they might be too big of a home underdog here. You know, obviously, they basically suck. They've been losing. With Morgan starting, he's iffy. But the line is huge because of Scherzer. We know that Scherzer is capable of striking out 20 guys, in any given start. But he's also a guy who's a little bit unreliable going forward, right? He gives up home runs, gives up runs here and there. Obviously, Washington should be the favorite here. Should they be this big of a favorite? I don't know. I think it might be worth a shot at Philly at plus 183 at Pinnacle. What do you think?
It's probably worth some kind of flyer. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a huge play for me or it's just going to be very small probably because we're talking about Philly after all. But I've got issues about Max Scherzer, and I've definitely talked about them in the past, that his swinging strike rate down a bit. The walks have been a little bit of a concern for Max Scherzer in recent outings, and home runs have also been an issue. I mean, you look at his last 3 starts, 7 walks in those last 3 starts, and you look at going back to his last 5 starts, he's now allowed 10 home runs in his last 5 starts combined. So the long ball has really plagued Max Scherzer as of late. And, considering the price tag he's commanding in the betting markets, he's got to be winning at a big-time clip in order to be profitable supporting this guy start in and start out. Philly's just 6-5 in his 11 starts this year, 1-2 in Scherzer's last 3 starts. So if you're going to lay this kind of price here with Max Scherzer, you buyer beware. I mean, it's just a situation where I don't think the Nationals are winning consistently enough with Scherzer on the mound. That's number one. Number two, he's just not pitching quite well enough considering the price tag he's commanding. I mean, you've got to be dominant to be a minus 200, minus 205 road favorite, even against a team like Philadelphia. And right now, I'm not seeing that A-level elite pitching dominance right now from Max Scherzer. So I want no part the Nationals laying this kind of north of 200 tag on the road. On the flip side, now, can you trust Adam Morgan, the Philadelphia Phillies lefty, in this particular matchup? The Nationals have hit very well against lefties. That would be a big concern for me here with Morgan. 263 as a team against lefties, 5.38 runs per game. It's worth noting Bryce Harper not in the Washington lineup tonight due to an injury he suffered last night. You will definitely want to see if he's going to be in the lineup for the Nationals Wednesday before the first pitch of this game. Morgan last time out against the Cubs, not very good. 6 runs on 8 hits and 4 innings of work. Phillies losing that game 6-2. In fact, they're 0-3 in Morgan's last 3 starts. Morgan has struggled at home. That's another concern I have. 7.36 ERAs, allowed 12 runs and 14 innings of work at home. Boy, I wish it was another one of these Philly pitchers, Pete, to be honest with you. Nola, Velasquez. Give me someone other than Adam Morgan, because I have a hard time trusting him. Still would lean to the Phillies just because of the value, maybe more than anything, maybe with this total, with like it is with Max Scherzer starts. It's devalued because he's on the mound. He's a big name pitcher. He's dominated for years. And because he's not quite dominating right now in current form, maybe a little value over the total here at 7.5 in this game. So I'd lean to the Phillies as a dog here and maybe lean over the total. Maybe we can get over that 7.5 in this game.
All right, nice analysis, Ian Cameron. Then the next game I want to ask you about, the big favorite, is the Cubs. Now, I know it's kind of a broken record. Feels like I ask you about the Cubs every show, but what's the point of this show? To find value, right? So if that's the point of the show, chances are we're going to be talking about the Cubs, I think, going forward. And here we are again. John Lester starting, Bolsinger on the other side for the Dodgers. Lester isn't quite Arrieta, of course, but he is still Lester. The line, though, isn't in the minus 200. It opened at minus 180 at Pinnacle. So it's a big line, but not a super big line. The Cubs lineup is what it is. The Dodgers lineup and bullpen is what it is. I'm thinking maybe the Cubs are a big favorite here, but not still, again, not quite as big of a favorite as they should be. What do you think about the Cubs opening at minus 180 as a play?
Yeah, Bolsinger to me is serviceable in one setting. You get him on the West Coast, particularly at night, Pitchers Park, light hitting lineup on the other side. Then maybe you get some decent showings out of Mike Bolsinger. I don't trust him in any other setting. And now you're going to take him at Wrigley Field here against this red hot hitting Chicago Cubs team that can just, 1 through 9 can give you good production and good at bats at the plate. That's going to be a problem here for Mike Bolsinger. I certainly don't trust him. Last start was, okay against the Cincinnati Reds, but again, at night, Dodger Stadium, 2 runs and 5.2 innings of work. Going to be a much taller order here for Mike Bolsinger as he goes on the road to face this Chicago Cubs team. We'll see if he can handle it. He's made that 1 road start against the Angels on the road this year, and he gave up 3 runs on 7 hits and just 4.1 innings of work. So that tells you all you need to know. On the road, he's not a guy I trust. On the flip side, John Lester, Mr. Consistent, really, for the Chicago Cubs. He's really been solid this year outside of a bad game against San Francisco a couple of starts ago. But other than that, he's been very good. Cubs are 7-3 in his 10 starts, 2.48 ERA overall. At home, he's got a 2.29 ERA pitching here at Wrigley. 45 strikeouts and just 28 hits allowed and 39.1 innings of work here at Wrigley Field. Those are great numbers. When your strikeouts are 45 and your hits allowed are 28 here in this ballpark, that tells you John Lester's done a magnificent job neutralizing opposing hitters, particularly here at home. I wouldn't talk anyone out of the Cubs side. I don't look at the Dodgers as a live dog. I don't trust Bolsinger, that's for sure. So Cubs money line, maybe Cubs run line minus 1.5, worth a look in this game. But Bolsinger on the road against the Cubs at Wrigley, not a situation I trust, that's for sure.
All right, Ian Cameron, it sounds like you've endorsed all 3 of my initial leans for the Wednesday card, Texas, Philly, and the Cubs. 12 other games, though. What else would you like to bring to our attention, Ian?
Well, let's, Cincinnati, Colorado, 11 usually is a total I don't like to go over with many times, but boy, I still might in this game. I mean, John Lamb, the Reds lefty, this guy's just not long for the rotation at a major league level, period, end of story. I mean, he's not a guy that's going to get outs. It's just numbers have been absolutely dreadful. 10.54 ERA in his last 3 starts. How about his 2 road starts, John Lamb? 15.26 ERA, got crushed in both of them against Cleveland and against Milwaukee. He gave up 13 13 runs on 17 hits and just 7.2 innings of work over those 2 road starts. Home runs have been an issue. He's allowed 5 home runs in 23 innings. Now you got to go to Coors Field and somehow get outs and keep the ball in the park against the Rockies. I don't see him doing it. I think the Rockies can hang a crooked number here against the Reds, and Lamb's not going to go deep. So what does that mean? You get the Reds and their pathetic bullpen following behind him. So a chance probably for Colorado to tack on even more runs late in the game, because the Reds still the worst bullpen in Major League Baseball by far. So this could be a night where Colorado, they can get 8, 9, maybe even 10 runs by themselves in this particular game. And Tyler Chatwood, to me, yeah, he's in better current form. I will give him that. Has pitched pretty well of late. His last 2 starts, in fact, very strong against Pittsburgh and San Francisco. 2 runs allowed in his last 13 innings of work. It's been a little bit more difficult, though, for Chatwood here at Coors Field. A 5.10 ERA for him in 5 home starts, 17 runs allowed on 34 hits in 30 innings of work. And he's given up 6 home runs this year, Tyler Chatwood. Well, all 6 of them have been allowed here at Coors Field. So keeping the ball in the park has been difficult for Chatwood in this ballpark. Guys, power bats like Joey Votto, like Jay Bruce, capable, and Adam Duvall, who's been really hitting a lot of home runs this year for the Reds. They might have some potential to do some damage with the long ball here against Tyler Chatwood. And it's not like Colorado's bullpen is any lockdown unit by any stretch. They're capable of giving up runs late. So, yeah, this total's 11, but it's 11 for a reason, and it's still maybe a little bit short when it's all said and done. We saw a huge, wild, high-scoring game with these 2 teams yesterday. Wouldn't surprise me to see, 7-5, 8-5, 8-4 type of game here. I'd still look over the total of 11. It's high, but I think we have an ultimate slugfest on the horizon Wednesday between the Reds and Rockies.
All right, I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for that one. We'll see what the weather is tomorrow. Ian Cameron, thanks so much. Talk to you again very soon.
All right, thanks, Peter. Enjoy the games and good luck.